Right, so we have a special guest, right? Right, Samo!
What's up, man?
All right, so first of all, just give a introduction, your profession mainly, right?
All right. Well, Samuel Jones, technical sales representative for Nutramix, makers of the big feed.
All
I
right.
control the parishes St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. So,
Okay.
you realize I said technical sales representative. So, it's not just sales. We offer technical support. So, we won't just sell you a product and just leave you like that. You understand? We're always there on the farm, always there in the farm stores, giving technical support to the farmers. Whatever questions they have, whatever concerns, they can always call us and ask us, and we'll be happy to help.
Okay, so question.
Yeah,
Do you have stores in all parishes? Does it work like
all
that?
parishes, all parishes, multiple.
Okay, okay. Oh, so like
So,
more than one store in different parish.
yeah,
Oh,
every major community have a farm store.
yeah, just give a summary of Nutramix. You know what Nutramix do, and the kind of products they supply.
All right. Well, Nutramix, we're primarily a feed company. So we
Right.
do all we do feed we supply feed for all the different livestock animals. We also do horses as well and pet food, dogs right now. We are thinking about doing some cat food soon, but that's probably next year thereabout. It's in the making. But right now we supply dog and puppy food, all livestock animals and horses.
Okay. Okay. So
Um, along with the
yeah.
feed, we also sell baby chicks and
Oh,
laying hens. Yeah, baby chicks, broilers that is, laying hens, and we also sell F1 gilts. That's pigs.
oh, okay. So all right. So all right, I'm going to give you a scenario. So you have, for example, myself, I'm just going into um chicken rearing then, like broiler, right?
Right.
Um, do you have like a what else, like a blueprint then, or what would you advise? How should I start? The kind of feed I start with, and so on.
All right. Broiler production. Wait, first before we start with the feed, we're going to tell you about brooding, because brooding is very important for the
Oh,
baby
I'm
chicks.
brooding. Yeah. Okay, right, right.
Right.
You have to break it
So
down now. You have to break it down, because
yeah, man.
we are saying, for example, we are saying, for example, we don't know where brooding means. So,
Yeah, man. I'm gonna break down everything, man. Everything.
okay, okay.
All right. So let's say our house is prepared already. All right. Um, when we say brooding now, brooding is the artificial supply of heat because you want to keep
Oh,
these baby chicks warm. All right. First thing you're going to do is ensure that your little nursery area is properly tarpaulined around. Right. Um, there should be no excess breeze entering that nursery area. And also, let's say we're doing 100 baby chicks, right? You
right,
want to ensure that you have a brooding lamp. Like for example, a 125 watt or a 250 watt heat lamp. Some persons, when you tell them that the birds need light for the first 2 weeks of their life, they think that it's just the light they need. But it's not actually the light they need, it's the heat that is coming from the light.
okay, right.
Right. So we're going to install the heat lamp. Or you go about setting the heat lamp, you put your hand on the surface of the floor. You bring down the heat lamp to as close as possible until you start feel it getting extremely warm. And that's where you set it. You don't want it to be too hot on the birds. And you don't want it too high because they know they won't get enough heat coming from that lamp.
Right.
All right. When that is in place now, we're going to look at the feed now. So for broiler birds, we primarily have two different type of feeds that we give them. We have the broiler crumble, which is from day 1 to day 21. And then you have the broiler pellet, which is from day 22 up until 6 weeks when you slaughter.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, so that is what you will give them for the 6 week in terms of feeding. You know, you're going to have your different type of medication that you give them as well, the vitamins, Mineralites Plus, you know, Formula 1 Plus, all of those different type of vitamins that you'll add for improved production.
Okay. All right. So all right. Tell me about some of Nutramix products, right? Tell me about some of their products, like in terms of like medication. So those that you said, the Mineralites Plus and so on, are those Nutramix products?
The signal connection is very... I didn't get that question.
All right, so tell me, all right, so in everything that we do, like we are doing with the animals, tell me about some of Nutramix products, whether new products that you have on the market, right? Or some of the products that we know that farmers use on a regular basis that Nutramix basically produce.
All right, you have like the Mineralites Plus, right? That is a very good vitamin or multivitamin that we recommend. Reason being, it has no antibiotic in it. So you can give the baby bird, you can give from day 1, go right up until week 5, basically. You understand? It has a very short withdrawal period. Well, basically no withdrawal period. You can give it right up until you're ready to slaughter. So that is the one we mainly recommend for farmers to use.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So let us talk about, because I know that, well, whichever animal, whether pigs, chickens, whatever animals, right? Those animals that Nutramix will cover with their products. What are some of the like any disease or anything like that that farmers need to look out for, right?
Right. All right. One of the main diseases that affects broiler birds and even your layers is known as the coccidiosis.
Right.
How do you know that your birds are suffering from coccidiosis? Well, you will see discoloration in the feces. So, initially, you will see the feces get a green color, and then more than likely after a day or 2, you start to see blood coming out in the feces. So when you see the blood coming out in the feces, you know that it reached a chronic stage where the walls of the intestine are basically coming down. What we use to treat coccidiosis is any sulfur-based medicine. For example, sulfamide or trisulfitrin. Those are the 2 main ones that we use to treat coccidiosis in birds. But the thing with these medications is that they have a withdrawal period. Usually these, because they have antibiotics in them, usually these meds will have a withdrawal period of 10 days and more. So if your birds are about 5.5 weeks old and you see them come down with coccidiosis and you should treat them, you cannot slaughter these birds at 6 weeks again. You understand? You'd have to basically carry these birds up to 7 or sometimes 8 weeks to ensure that the medication is fully out of the system of the animal.
Right. Okay. All right. So let us talk about like other animals then, apart from the broilers. Because I heard you mention about so hold on, you have any products for like goats?
Yeah, man. Even the same products that we use in the broilers, you know, you can use on the goats as well, and pigs, you know, sheep. They are multifunctional, so they can use on basically all animals. Sorry.
Okay, so let me ask now, cause we know sometimes no for we poor, you understand, we don't have no money. So Nutramix offer any like incentives for farmers or anything like that? Any special programs, special offers, anything like eh? How would that part they go?
All right. From time to time, we have in-store promotions. So,
Okay.
like for example, as I said before, I would control St. Catherine, Kingston, and St. Thomas, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we would select a farm store, let's say from St. Catherine, and say we'll have an in-store promotion. So what we'll do on that day, we'll come down, the whole team will come down because you know the more the merrier. So the whole team will come down, the vets, the technical reps, the livestock specialists, all will come down. We'll bring promotional items, caps, shirts, rugs, and stuff that the farmers will use on the farm. Sometimes we bring some baby chicks, you know, because you know the
Mm-hmm.
farmers them love to get them free baby chicks. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just appreciation, you know,
Okay.
thanking the farmers for the continued support and all of that.
Okay. All right. So I think I should have asked you this earlier. All right. So for example, let us talk about the layer. No, the broilers first.
Right.
When you're feeding the broilers, right? Um, how much? What is the quantity of feed you give them at the different ages or the different stages of development?
All right. For broiler birds, usually
Right.
we'll say that all right, each bag of feed weighs 55 pounds or 25 kg, right?
Right.
Usually we feed broiler birds ad lib.
Right. And ad lib
Right.
meaning?
Feed is always present, constant.
Okay.
But
Okay.
usually,
Right.
for example, for 100 birds, it would usually take 16 to 18 bags of feed to carry them from day one up until slaughtering time. So we usually
Oh.
recommend that farmers keep it within the range of 16 to 18 bags. You understand? Once you're going over the 18 bag mark, you know that you're doing something wrong. You need to step up on management. It's either that you lost them from brooding or something. You just need to find out what you're doing wrong, why your
Some
animals
kind
are
of
consuming milk.
environmental stress and so on.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And the layers, what kind of quantity we're looking at?
All right, we give the layers, each bird, we give them quarter pound per day. Some persons feed them ad lib as well, but it is recommended. But let's say for the 100 again, we usually use like half bag of feed for the 100 for the day. So you'd give them like quarter pound in the morning because we prefer you feed them twice per day because you don't want them to consume all the food in the day and then in the night they basically have empty pants. So you give them like quarter pound in the morning, quarter bag sorry in the morning, and then quarter bag in the evening. So
Okay.
usually half a bag carries these layers right through the day.
Okay.
But
So
if you want to be specific, it's quarter
right.
pound per bird.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I know that. All right. Let us talk about storage because we want to know how long can we store feed. So for example, you say that okay for 100 birds, you say how many bags? You say 15 to how many you said?
For 100 bird, 18 bags.
18 bags. So should I buy the entire 18 bags and put down? Can I store them or should I buy them
Yeah.
little by little?
All right. We always try to talk about storage with farmers because you see, when the farmers go to the farm store, they will get a better discount when they purchase all the feed that they would need rather than buying 1 and 2. So for example, right now, let's say a bag of feed is for 18.50, right? You will get a discount of, let's say, when you buy 10 and over, you'll get it for probably 18.20. So you'd save basically $30 on a bag of feed. And farmers, they want to ensure that they are saving as much as possible. You understand? So they
Yes,
will buy
ma'am.
the 18 bags and they will call us and ask us, how do you store these feed properly? Because I don't want to lose it. You know, rodents, rat might come in and eat. Spoilage can happen if it is not stored in the right temperatures. So they always call and ask questions. First thing that we recommend is that you store these feeds on pallets. So you don't want them to be on the cold concrete, right?
Right.
So you store these feeds on pallet. You'll ensure that it's properly closed up. You don't want any rodents coming in. You don't want any excess draft as well. So you just ensure that the room is properly closed and the feeds are on pallet. Ensure that none of the feed is against the wall. Try and keep them in the center as possible.
Right. Right. So question. What if
Yeah.
a couple bags of my feed accidentally get wet? Can I still feed them to my animals?
No, all right. We don't recommend that because, you know, once these feed gets wet, it starts to mold
Right.
very, very
Right.
quickly. And then you know that basically is bacteria. So that will
Yeah.
cause illness on the animals. So we don't recommend that you feed wet feed to the animals.
Okay. Okay. And in terms of spacing, right? In terms of spacing,
Right.
what is the required spacing for with broiler and layout?
All right. For broilers, all right. So for broilers, usually farmers would call and let's say they're building the house from scratch. So they ask, what do we do? How do we build these houses? So the first thing we tell them is that they should ensure that the house is in an east-west dimension because the sun rises on the east and sets on the west. So you always ensure that the shorter side of the coop is where the sun rises and sets. So let's say we are building a 10 by 20, 200 square feet coop. Always ensure that the side with the 10 square is always east to west. And then a 200 square feet coop will house 200 broiler birds.
Oh.
Because each bird requires 1 square foot of space.
Yes, yes.
And then for layers now.
No, before we go any further, because I mean, why such a small space? I mean, they can hardly move in the 1 square feet. Why such a small space?
1 square foot is good enough space for them because look here, you don't want them to walk about too much and then the feed instead of converting to meat, it is more converted into muscle because they're doing so much walking and running. Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah.
Birds will get tough.
Yeah. Right.
Everybody come and fall.
What I say? We love him, man. We love God, but we know what I say. Mama got the pressure them they feel long.
Right, yeah, man. So you don't want a scenario like that. So 1 square foot is good enough space for them to be comfortable. You just want them to be comfortable because at the end of the day, we're gonna eat them.
Right. Yes. And with the layers now.
Alright, with the layers, we go with 1.5 and 2 square feet. So you have some areas in Jamaica that is a little cooler. Like me say Mr. Bennett is here, up in the St. Thomas areas. You have some cool areas in the hills and thing. You can say, all right, we can use 1.5 square feet per bird. But now, down in the lowline areas, Portmore, Old Harbour, Kingston, we would definitely recommend 2 square feet per bird because, you know, those areas are very hot.
Oh,
and
okay.
And these layers, even though they are 18 weeks and up, so they are basically big birds, they are still very, very delicate. Any farmer stress, stop laying. 1 day short on feed, stop laying. 1 day short on water, stop laying. So you have to be on the ball with these layers because once you drop off, no eggs.
Right. So let me ask a question pertaining to the layers. So
right.
if you're raising some layers, right? Or rearing some layers.
Yeah.
do you have to stick specifically to the layer ration that Nutramix provide, or those feed that are commercially provided to feed layers?
That are recommended. Yes,
Yeah.
we yes, we recommend that you stick to the ones that we recommend for you, because remember, you know, we are the one growing these birds from the hatch at day 1 up until 18 weeks when they are sold to you. So any change in ration, you're going to have a problem, especially if it is not mixed properly, because you know any animals, once you are changing feed, we start by mixing gradually until it is until they change over into the other feed. So when we grow these birds for 18 weeks and then they are transported to your farm, and you should use something totally different from what we have been using for 18 weeks, yes, you will definitely have some problems.
Okay. Either I told them about them stop or them are going on some kind of stuff.
Right. They will have a break. They'll get a break in lane. Some might be worse than some, but yes, eventually they will come back. But that time that you have lost, you can't gain it again.
Right. All right. So earlier you touched on the pricing for the feed. You can shed some more light on that, the different type of feed and the costs.
All right. So for layers, right, we have the layer ration mash and the layer ration crumble. All right. The layer mash, that is now going at a price of about $1,700 per bag. The crumble is just $40 more expensive. So the crumble would be like for $1,740. With the broiler ration is going in the region of $1,820 thereabout, and the pellets is about $1,780. But what some farm stores do, they will sell both the crumble and the pellet for the same price. So seeing that the crumble is for $1,820 and the pellet is for $1,780, they will just square it off and say, all right, $1,800 right across the board. So the $20 that they have lost off the broiler crumble, they will gain it back on the broiler pellet.
Oh, okay. Okay, nice. All right, so touch on mortality, because you know the few livestock the few broiler farmers I know, and even when I used to raise some broiler for my own purpose, I used to have mortality. You can't talk a little bit about mortality. Yeah.
All right. Usually, in the 6 weeks of the bird's life, you will face mortality problems in week 1 and 2 and 4 and 5. In week 1 and 2, usually why you'll have mortality problems is because of poor brooding. Once these birds are comfortable, they are warm, they are eating, they are drinking, they are running up and down, very rare you would have high mortality problems. You might lose 1 or 2 or none at all once these birds are comfortable. So you want to ensure that they have adequate eat, they have adequate water and feed. You as the farmer, you should be always watching these birds, right? So you will always go in your coop or go in the nursery, look at them. If you see them bungle into a corner, that simply means these birds are cold. Once they start to bungle, that means they are cold. They are seeking warmth from each other's body heat. That is a problem. 1, that can lead to poor uniformity and also mortality. When you say poor uniformity, you will have some birds that are big, some medium, and some look like them just coming out of the egg. So what would cause that is that usually when they're bundling, the ones that are out on the end, they can easily well break, eat and drink and come back. But the ones that are caught in the middle of the bundle, they can't move. They can't move. They have to just go and hold it until sometimes in the mornings when the sun come up and the bundle breaks, because you know the sun brings a little heat in the coop. That is when they can get a little water and some feed. So those birds are usually the ones that are very tiny and usually the ones that would die first.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you. So when Nutramix sells me a batch of bird, I go to Nutramix and I buy a 100 birds. Is it that is
Right.
Nutramix saying that they guarantee that I won't have any, providing everything is okay, brooding and everything that you talk about? Is it that I can have 0% mortality, or should I always
Yes.
expect to have?
Yes. All
What is
right.
it?
All right. The thing is, you should always ensure that when you are collecting these birds, you inspect them. We at
Right.
Nutramix, we always sell A-grade birds. So any farm, any birds that have any form of deformity, which will happen, we get rid of them. We don't even sell them to the staff. We get rid of them. Straight dump. Anything that goes on the road, it's
Top
strictly
quality.
A-grade.
A-grade, top
But
quality.
during transportation, you know, Jamaica roads, things can happen.
Yeah, man.
So when
Right.
you go to the farm store, you should also ensure that you look and inspect these birds, ensure that everybody looking okay. Once everybody is looking okay and you go home with these birds, trust me, you shouldn't have any problems carrying these birds to 6 weeks.
Great. Great. Yes, man. All right. So we kind of we're getting to the end now. Tell me about the procedure to actually buy some birds from Nutramix. What is the procedure?
It's very simple, man. We have the farm stores in place. So
All
for the
right.
smaller numbers, let's say you want 100, 200, 300, up to 500. You can always go to the farm store close by, order your birds, and you get them. We sell birds every Monday and every Thursday, 2 times per week. So if you don't get it on the Monday batch, you get it on the Thursday batch. If you want large numbers, you can order straight from the sales representative, which is myself. Let's say you want 5,000 birds, you're doing a larger enterprise, and we will provide these birds for you. We have free delivery. These birds are chopped right to your whether to your farm or to the closest farm store to you. And also, once you use and purchase Nutramix birds and you're using Nutramix feeds, this entitles you to free veterinary service. So if
What?
you're having yes, man. So this is one of the incentives that you were talking about. You get free
Yes,
veterinary
man.
service.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're having a problem, you would call me. I would come on the farm, check it, and let's say it's something that is just a little above my head. I would call the vet. The vet will come,
Right.
check on the animals, prescribe whatever medication, and all of this is done for free.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice. All right. So question, you can give out the contact info so
Of
that
course,
anybody who
definitely.
can. Okay.
Definitely.
Tell us
All right. So
the
the office number
right.
is 922-2606. So that's the office, Nutramix head office. That's 922-2606. And myself, the sales representative, I can be reached at 564-2317.
All
Repeating that,
right.
564-2317.
Yes, and can you repeat your position at Nutramix again?
Yes, so I'm the technical sales representative from Nutramix for the parishes of St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Catherine.
Okay. All right, Mr. Jones. Do you have anything final you want to say?
Oh, we spent a lot of time on the broilers and layers. We didn't talk much on pigs. I was telling you
Okay.
that we sell the F1 gilts. So
Right.
back in the days we used to sell them pregnant, but now we don't anymore. We just sell them open. So now you can get an open F1 gilt for about 85,000. So there'll be a 6-month-old gilt, right?
All right.
Which will be basically ready.
All right, wait now, Mr. Jones, because we have been talking on layman terms or some technical terms that come out there. So you say F1 and you say F1 gilt. So I'm assuming that F1 maybe mean first generation, right?
Right. So it's a cross between the landrace and the large white.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And the gilt. What is the gilt? You say F1 gilt.
Right. So you know the gilts are basically pigs that have not been bred.
Okay.
So the ones that have been bred is the sow, and the ones that have not, we call them the gilt.
Right. Those are okay. Okay. So them
Yeah.
they are the virgin ones.
Yeah.
All right.
So those are the ones that we have on sale.
Yes.
5 to 6 months old, basically mature enough to be bred. We also sell the semen. So we set up some depots at the farm stores. So it's easily accessible. You don't have to travel far with it. You go to the nearest farm store, you get your semen. If any one of the reps is available, we can come by, do a demonstration if you're not so confident in doing it yourself. Or it is so simple, we can just give you some instructions over the phone and you can do it yourself.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
The artificial insemination.
Artificial insemination. So
okay, you can just run over the price again, the price for the F1 gilt and so on.
All right, so the F1 gilts, they are going at $85,000.
Okay.
And we sell the semen for as little as $3,000. So this saves you a lot of money because instead of having a boar that you'll have to be feeding right throughout the year, you'll spend $3,000 and get the same use that the boar would be giving you.
Okay. Okay. All right. So anything new that Nutramix coming up with now? I know you mentioned something earlier, but
right.
You want to talk about that?
All right. So what we have coming up is the pet plant. So we are building a new plant for pets. So we will be making pet food. I said before that we are doing dog foods now. We want to go into cats and we want to do some fish food as well. Nice. So all of this is in the pipeline, coming very, very soon.
Okay, wonderful. No, and all of these people, you'll find a lot of people having these animals. You know, so definitely. I'm sure they'll be happy to hear this. They'll be happy to hear this.
Yes, right? Yes.
Right, all right. The big, what I call Nutramix, the big feed.
The big feed.
So once you're the big feed, you're supposed to supply feed to all animals, you know. All of them have economic importance and even pets and all of these things. So
yes.
Bless up, man. You know, thank you for
respect. Thanks for having me.
Sharing the information. Yeah, and I hope to have you again soon to talk about some more.
Anytime.
All right. Anytime. So, yes, Samo. Bless up.
All right, bro. Cool.
All right. So, there we have it. So, this is something that I'm hoping to do on a regular basis. You know, we'll have different reps within the agriculture industry in Jamaica. You know, I want to tell maybe other countries in the Caribbean as well. Right, where we're going to talk about animal-related stuff, crop production, you know, and just share information. So that's it for this session, and I'll see you again in another one. I hope you enjoyed the information. I hope it was beneficial to you. Next time we will have another special guest. Right, so until then, bye-bye.